the most haunted town in America, full of witches, demons, evil.
Nah, I'm just kidding. It's actually a very lovely colonial New England town, and this is your complete travel guide to Salem, Massachusetts. I'll show you everything from the best attractions, how to get around the place, what to avoid, and how to have the time of your life in the spookiest town in America. Welcome to Salem, Massachusetts, the witch capital of the United States. I'll show you the must-see attractions in this historic and magical place. Now, contrary to what you might think about Salem, it's actually a very sleepy New England town. The people are lovely, the scenery is gorgeous, the pace is slow, and the decorations are, well, it's a little out there. Whether you're a history buff, a fan of spooky stuff, or you're just looking for an exciting adventure, Salem has something for everyone. So, let's have a look at a map of Salem, and you'll notice that most of what you want to see is contained between these two streets. It's very walkable, and you don't need any public transportation to see most of what Salem has to offer. Sometimes, attractions are literally right next door to each other, so that's handy. But our first destination isn't even on this map. It's right here to the west of the town, in this rather unassuming residential street full of people's houses. On the surface, it's not much to write home about, but this thing that looks like a bus stop is one of the most important places in American history. This is Proctor's Ledge. This is where 19 people accused of witchcraft were hanged during the Salem Witch Trials of 1692. This is the exact reason why the town is famous worldwide. There are plaques that commemorate the victims, where they died, and it's right next to someone's backyard. Interesting? Next to it is Gallows Hill. Many people believe that this is where the accused witches were executed. It's not, we've just seen where they were hanged, but today it's a park with trails and a playground. When you walk back towards the middle of town, you'll come across historic Chestnut Street, lined with beautiful New England colonial houses that date back to the 18th century. If you love colonial architecture, you'll love strolling down this road. Right next to the Salem Public Library is Friends Cemetery, one of the many cemeteries here in Salem, and the nearby Salem Atheneum is one of the oldest libraries in the United States. So, if you like old or ancient books, this is the place for you. Eventually, you'll come across one of the most famous houses in all of America. This is Rope's Mansion. If you're wondering why this looks so familiar, it's because it's the house from the movie Hocus Pocus. This beautiful old house was used as a filming location and is open for tours at select days and times. And it really does feel like you're stepping into a movie. Next door, you'll find the First Church in Salem. It's one of the oldest churches in America, founded in 1629, and it's super creepy, even in the daytime. Yikes! Another famous house in the town is literally a stone's throw away. This is the Witch House. This creepy looking building is the only building in Salem with direct ties to the Salem Witch Trials. It was the home of Judge Jonathan Corwin, who presided over the trials, and inside, it's cool to see what it looked like back in the day, and you can learn all about life in the 1600s and the dark history of the Salem Witch Trials. It's also an exhibition highlighting what sort of spells, ingredients, and potions a witch might have used all those many years ago. New Derby Street is a lively area filled with shops, restaurants, and historic sites. If you're looking for stereotypical things to buy, there's no shortage of shops that will sell you that sort of thing. It's also a great place to grab a bite to eat and explore more of Salem's vibrant culture. Oh, here's something that's fun. The Bewitched statue. This statue is in honor of the classic TV show Bewitched and its leading lady, Elizabeth Montgomery. And it's a great spot for a cool photo. Wasn't she so beautiful back in the day? Essex Street Pedestrian Mall is the heart of Salem. It's full of unique shops, cafes and street performers, especially around Halloween. Around here, The town hall is one of the oldest municipal buildings in New England. It's used for events and performances, and the architecture is pretty sweet. If you have time, the Witch History Museum will tell you the story of the Salem Witch Trials through life-size dioramas and exhibits. But before you shell out any money for any museum, please visit the Visitor Centre. This is your go-to spot for a free paper map, and because the town is full of museums all trying to get your money, you need to figure out which ones are the best for you, as you can't possibly visit them all at once. You can also book walking history and ghost tours right here if you're into that sort of thing. Speaking of museums, the most prestigious museum in the town is across the street. The Peabody Essex Museum. It's one of the oldest and largest museums in the United States, filled with art, history, and culture from around the world. It has a few spooky things inside, but it's largely a contemporary art gallery and museum. When you walk past the blue trees, not sure why they're blue, you'll come across the Salem Witch Trial Memorials. These memorials are dedicated to the victims of the witch trials, and surprisingly, people still leave flowers after all these years. You'll find this on the grounds of Chestnut Street Cemetery. Surprise, surprise, one of the oldest cemeteries in the USA. It dates back to the 1600s, and it's the final resting place of some of Salem's earliest settlers. It's eerily quiet here, even though we're between two very busy streets. When you walk around the streets, you'll notice that there's definitely an element of the town cashing in on its notoriety. And it's pretty obvious here at the Salem Witch Village. It's a fun attraction where you can learn all about the history of witches and witchcraft through guided tours. Definitely great for kids. And the Salem Wax Museum features lifelike wax figures that tells you the story of Salem's past, from the witch trials to the maritime history. I could talk a lot more about all the museums you'll come across in this small area, there seems to be quite a lot, but the most popular one seems to be this, the Salem Witch Museum. Here, you'll experience an immersive presentation on the Salem Witch Trials and the history of witch hunts through animated dioramas and lighting effects. Now, I was a little disappointed by this one. It kinda droned on a little bit, but it's a must-see attraction for any visitor who likes the story of the Salem Witch Trials. If that's not your thing, right outside is Salem Common. It's a large park in the centre of town, perfect for a relaxing walk, and it's a beautiful green space surrounded by historic buildings, and it often hosts events, festivals, and people dressed as leprechauns and pink witches for your entertainment. If you walk towards the water, you'll come across various historic houses, and they're worth a few minutes of your time to explore. Eventually, you'll come across the Salem Maritime National Historic Site. You can explore historic ships, buildings, and take a long walk towards the lighthouse. It's a great place to learn about Salem's rich maritime history and enjoy some stunning views of the harbour. The third of the three most famous houses in Salem, rather surprisingly, doesn't have anything to do with witchcraft. This is the House of the Seven Gables. If you've heard of this place, you'll have probably read Nathaniel Hawthorne's novel of the same name. You can tour its beautiful gardens, which are perfectly manicured, and the house itself is gorgeous. Very colonial, and walking around it is like stepping back in time to the 1700s. You'll even see the secret staircase that takes you to one of the secret rooms inside one of the seven gables. I secretly fell in love with my tour guide a little, although rather eerily, she looks exactly the same as the former owner of the house, whose picture is on the wall right here. Have I just fallen in love with a ghost? Is she a ghost? I'm not quite sure. If you're a fan of the novel, you'll absolutely love it here. But seeing as though I've never read the damn thing, admittedly, it was a little bit lost on me. I could have bought it at the gift shop afterwards, but nah, it's a bit too late now. Cool sweet shop across the street though. There's other museums that might take your fancy, such as the Witch Dungeon Museum, which offers a live reenactment of the witch trial, followed by a tour of a replica dungeon. But if you're all museumed out right now, I totally understand. I've been yammering on about them for most of the video. But if you want to get away from it all, in the north side of town, you'll find Salem Willows Park. It's a waterfront park that's perfect for families or just to get some peace and quiet. Finally, Winter Island Park is a great spot for camping, boating and exploring the outdoors. You can visit Fort Pickering Lighthouse, go on the beach or just enjoy the natural beauty of Salem's coastline. Salem, Massachusetts is a town full of history, mystery and magic. Whether you're here for its witchy past, the beautiful New England architecture, or just for a fun day out, Salem has something for everyone. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I need to do? Well, you need to come here to Salem, Massachusetts. It's a 40-minute drive north of Boston, and if you're not driving yourself here, use the MBTA transport network which has a stop in Salem. The train station is located to the north of the town and is within easy walking distance to all the attractions. The cost of the attractions are reasonable enough, but if you're planning to do everything, it quickly adds up. So my advice to you is to handpick the museums you want to see and just stick with them. If you're looking for a place to stay, the hotels here are reasonably priced and also a short walk away from every major attraction. If you're on a super tight budget, consider staying outside of town like I did. Is there anything else I need to know? Yes, there seems to be a shortage of public restrooms here in Salem, so keep your eye out for them at all times. Filming is technically prohibited inside the House of the Seven Gables. The best time of the year to come is during Halloween, where it's a spooky party atmosphere everywhere. And if you want a proper, authentic, American-style Halloween experience, this is definitely the town for you. You have to come here once in your life to experience this. You can also take the ferry here directly from Boston. It's a lovely way to take in the coast and travel from Boston if you're staying there. And finally, if you are coming to Boston, be sure to check out my future travel guide right here, the most helpful guide on YouTube for everything that you need to know about having the time of your life here in Beantown. Thanks for joining me on this complete Salem travel guide. Subscribe for more travel adventures, tweet me some more bucket list ideas, and I'll see you in the next episode.